Mic checker, mic checker, mic checker. Is we on? Is we on? Is we on? Hello, world.
Hello, hello, hello.
Of course, this is your girl, Mo Hazel, and I got Miss Glam in the building. How are you doing today, love?
I am awesome.
This is great. We tried record in the morning, so let's see how smart we are in the AM, love.
With the voices.
When do I bully
Folks,
you?
listen to the last 6 episodes.
Don't be mad because my clapbacks are quicker than yours. That's
No,
all in fun.
On my Weekly Delights, bullying. I'm calling it.
You bullied me on one of the Weekly Delights.
No, but I'm small and cute, so I can't be a
so
bully.
I'm just, what am I? Describe me.
Mo Hazel.
Exactly. Good answer. Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to make it light and fun, of course, but this is a serious topic. So bullying, let's start with, were you ever bullied as a kid? And if so, tell me your experience. Like, take me back to a particular experience that was either bullying or close to it.
Well, I know I was teased. Mostly, you're smart, you're goody-goody two-shoes, you're skinny.
You skinny.
You think you cute because you got long hair.
Are you talking about yesterday? Is this something I said yesterday? No, I'm just playing.
Those were just teasing. I guess I didn't equate them to bullying because they didn't have any power or, I didn't feel threatened by them.
Yeah, okay.
So I just took it in stride and was like, yeah, whatever.
What age are we talking here?
I think it was all throughout. From the minute I went out to the world.
They were talking about you at 2?
Well, I wasn't out in the world at 2.
Okay, when were you out in the world?
Maybe 5, 6.
Okay, so 5, 6, and on. Okay, I'm with you. Keep going.
So I don't really think I was bullied more so than teased.
Okay, give me an example, because that's a good point. If you had to describe one instant, what's the first incident that stuck in your mind?
Well, I think the one that was most common was I was always a new girl. My mom moved. And
Military?
So, no, she just, when she decorates a house or where we were living, an apartment, it was time to move every year. And I would go to different schools every year. Mm-hmm. Being the new girl, I think most of it was I got attention or took attention from others.
Why? Because you cute? Or because you smart?
That? So you so surprised.
It was a little bit of jab, but it was actually a little bit of a question, too.
Think about it. Middle school boys, high school boys, it's not...
So what's
it's more of the unknown. Ooh, that's someone I don't know yet. Okay. So I think it was more of that. And then I would get comments like, oh, because you got long hair, you think you cute.
You did think you were cute.
It had nothing to do with my long hair.
That's facts. Yeah, I do think I'm cute. Next.
Well, exactly. So that's why I equate that more to teasing than bullying because, they didn't physically try anything.
It didn't hurt your feelings,
comments.
did it?
No, because I am cute.
See, exactly. Facts. Like, who are you hurting?
But
Sticks and stones don't work here, people.
I think they meant it as an insult, but it just didn't work.
Now, isn't that funny? Real quick, I'm going to let you get to your story. Normally, when you joke on somebody, you'd be like, what are those? Or, ew, why you put that shirt on? Why you got a pimple? And they couldn't even find anything, so they throw a compliment at you as if it's a diss. Isn't that hilarious?
Well, but think about it. They would say I'm skinny. The same thing they would talk about you as
we ain't on me right now.
Yellow.
Next.
Really?
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
Like they would talk about because you're light skinned, and I would talk about I'm skinny. Mm-hmm. Am I supposed to be offended?
It's facts. It's facts. You're not hurting my feelings by calling me light. It is factual.
Exactly.
And actually, that can be changed. I can go outside and come back just as chocolate as you. Yeah. Next.
And I think part of it is like at home, my parents instill very high self-esteem. You telling me I'm skinny, I know I'm skinny and I'm okay with that.
So I've
accepted that.
That's actually a good point, what you're saying, that your parents taught you from an early age to be confident in yourself. So that confidence didn't make you a victim to these kids that were attempting to attack you.
Correct.
With words.
I was very comfortable in my skin. I think it came from, I'm the oldest. Mm-hmm. I had plenty of alone time with my mom and my dad. I was the only girl for 9 years.
And they still did that even when you had brothers, because you were the girl.
I was the girl. I had high self-esteem. I had unconditional love.
Shout out to all the parents that build up the confidence in kids. That's a beautiful thing.
Plus, when you have siblings, you learn to have thick skin. Because my brothers used to pick at me all the time.
Yeah, and you were the oldest, so you probably could just take take them out. I know for me, I moved around a lot too, so that's something that we share in common. And I do understand that
Military
new
brat.
girl. Yeah, I was a military brat. You know what's so funny? I never got picked on as a new girl. I got picked on, and of course, it was always like,
because you got that bubbly personality.
I
like,
do.
I'm not
People want to be my friend. I don't have to make friends. They want me to be their friend. No, I'm just playing. I'm not that cocky. I didn't have siblings. See, here's the difference, and maybe that might be a reason for my bubbly personality going down a rabbit hole for 2 seconds. I was an only child, so every time I moved, my only friends were my parents, and there's nothing wrong with your friends being your parents, but when you're 7, 8, 9, 10, that ain't the coolest thing when your parents are your only friends and you move to the city. So, my goal was I need to make at least one friend when I get to school, and I wouldn't overly try, but I would feel at ease. And it wasn't like anxiety. It was just, I just knew to keep quiet, lay low. And then when I made my friend, then fine, I can out my personality and be me because somebody gets me. But so it wasn't really until it was my friends that did it. I didn't have strangers pick on me. It was my people, meaning my friends that they're cool with. And they didn't do it in a mean way. They did it in a joking way. So that helped. But I think for me, I'm not going to say my parents didn't build my confidence up. I just don't remember it, but I know they loved me and taught me love, and I know that I was loved. But I think the fact that I had to go into these schools solo, you can't be just looking all sad like, I have no friends. Yeah, that's an easy target.
Yeah,
I'm not going to make myself an easy target. So I came in with a confidence, almost like talking myself up, like I know I'm somebody and I know I'm going to be somebody's friend. And so that confidence kept me from getting picked on. So I had to teach myself.
But do you think that came from being the new kid so much? If you go back to the first time you were a new kid, what taught you to be that way?
That's a good question. I don't know truly what happened, but somewhere must have been, if I'm experiencing this, you got to change your mindset. So I don't remember it because I can't remember going back that far. Only thing I can remember is when I was confident, but I do remember my mom telling me stories that somebody would bite me at the daycare. I would put myself in the corner. What kind of only child craziness is that? I would come home and put Mommy, should I go in the corner? She's like, what is that? Who's hurting you, baby? Something's wrong with me. So obviously I don't remember it, but something my mom told me real quick, that's wrong. What is wrong with you? And she did it in a loving way. I'm just being sarcastic on air. She told me, like, that's not wrong. You don't let nobody bite you. And you tell the teacher. So something in my mind must have told me that was wrong, and I must have switched it up. I just can't remember. That's a very good question. I can't remember, but I do know that was an isolated time. It is never happened again. And if anything, maybe it did trigger without me remembering it, because I remember somebody tried me one time on the bus and just kept on and on and on and just talking about me on the bus. I didn't say one thing, and when we got off that bus, I lit her ass up. I made sure the bus was gone, and I lit her ass up at the bus stop, and I walked home. And then she had the nerve to bring her babysitter to my parents' house. Now keep in mind, I didn't tell my parents nothing. I went home in the house, act like nothing was wrong, did my homework, knock knock knock. Mr. Dad, she beat this little girl up. Your daughter beat this little girl up. And my dad looked at me and was like, did you beat her up? I said, yeah. He said, okay. And shut the door on him. And then he looked at me and he said, did you win? I said, yes. He says, okay. Were you defending yourself? Yes. He says, okay, no problem. And he let it go because he knows I'm not the type to get violent, but I'll end it. I don't lay hands on people unless provoked. And here's the thing. Imagine you're going from the school, you're sitting on the bus, mind your own business, heckle, heckle, heckle. Now you go from you're the last bus stop. We're the last bus stop. So I let that go. I didn't say one word to you, and you didn't think maybe this chick is crazy if she ain't said nothing yet. You let me get off the bus. Yeah, I'm gonna tag you. She didn't mess with me no more.
Where were
I end it. I don't play with bullies like that. I think maybe that's the only child in me. I don't play nice. I didn't get to tussle. Like, for instance, can we talk about that? You have siblings, so you must have tussled as a kid, right? Play fight and stuff.
I mean, it was different because I'm a girl, so I don't remember my brothers like fighting with me, but I did make them fight against each other.
Right. So
Yeah.
you saw the playing. I didn't have anybody to tussle with. Let me tussle with my mom. She'll whoop me down. But so I don't play nice. And I'm one of those people that I'm very patient. But again,
Yeah.
we've talked about this before, how we say no and stuff. I let it go to the 20th time, but on the 20th time, I snap. So to me, you earned that. She earned that butt whooping. She ain't trying me no more.
Well, and I mean, that's a good point. Like, that was something my grandmother instilled in me at a very young age was you want to stop a bully, you stand up to him.
Right. And just for the record, we're not condoning violence. We're just saying sometimes it's not wrong to defend yourself.
No,
I'm not
it's never wrong
saying
to
try
defend
somebody
yourself.
just to try somebody. Like, she looked at me wrong. Let me flip on her. No. I'm saying if somebody has pushed you to the point of making you feel so uncomfortable and they're bullying you in a sense. Yeah, it's not wrong to defend yourself. I mean, in that particular instance, that bus driver she's trying to get home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I
so
think
it's
the
okay to defend
difference-
yourself. I think it just depends on the circumstance. I just
Correct.
want to make sure that our listeners know we're not condoning violence. I'm not saying beat up everybody. That's wrong.
The advice I give my niece is if you feel your safety is at risk, get it back.
Ooh, speaking of niece, I was going to read an article first, but let's jump into your niece. Okay, so that's back then when we were kids.
Yeah.
Let's talk about modern day bullying. So let's talk about the incident with your niece.
Well, she's in elementary school, and this actually happened maybe a year ago. She was outside playing in the playground, and they were I can't remember what they were playing, but some little boy pulled her arm behind her back and pushed her down and held her down in the dirt. She went and told.
Did he like her? Do we know if Loki liked her?
He liked her.
Okay, go ahead, keep going.
But
Irrelevant for that moment.
It is. So she was very upset because he took it too far. And she told him that, and he didn't listen. So she told the substitute teacher.
Okay, she did.
Which I didn't know this at the time, that it was a substitute, but that don't change.
No, she told an adult.
And the substitute teacher, being a substitute teacher, go tell the other teacher.
So she didn't even care. That's rude.
So she told her other teacher, who...
That's an actual permanent teacher.
Correct.
Okay.
And she's very articulate for her age. So she explained that she had told the other teacher who told her to tell her.
Okay.
So this teacher assumed it had been handled and was like, oh, okay, you're okay. And so when she came home to tell me, she said, and they didn't help me. They didn't do anything.
How old was she?
9, 10.
Oh, yeah, that's too little for her to
So,
feel like that coming home.
of course, I told her I would handle it and go up there and see the principal the next morning.
Right.
I did show her I was upset on her
No,
behalf.
back it up. Let's talk about how angry you were.
I was angry,
Don't-
but I didn't
don't be polite.
No,
Keep it
but I
real.
did
We
not
keep it
show
real here.
her the level of rage I was feeling. I let her know that
Did you email first?
Hell no.
Okay, you just went up there. Okay.
I did let her know that I was upset on her behalf and I would handle it. But yeah, I was steaming pissed.
Yeah.
I went up there
I remember
the
this.
next day. Yeah, because I was on the phone with
Calm
her
me down.
mama, on you. I was just calling everybody because I was pissed.
And you know what? We ain't even trying to calm you down. Go up there, girl. Get her. Clap on that ass.
So I went up there to the principal and was like, I need to understand about the situation.
Yeah.
And because it was adult conversation, my niece was there with her headphones and my phone, so she wasn't in the conversation.
Right.
So I was explaining to her what I was told had happened, and basically she was all, well, the substitute won't come here anymore. That ain't fixing
That's
the
not
problem.
fixing it. My baby is still upset. That's
what are you
emotional
gonna do
baggage.
about looking into the situation and making sure this little boy doesn't put his hands on my niece again?
My baby needs to feel safe. Yes.
Basically, I was getting, it's not my problem, or it's fine, kids do this all the time, and that wasn't acceptable to me. It was kind of like, but it happened in the past, what am I supposed to do with it now? Fine. You're not going to help her feel safe? I'll help her feel safe. I told my niece to take her headphones out and listen to me. Look
Right.
at me. And I told her in front of the principal, that little boy put his hands on you, you take his ass down, you take him down hard.
That's right.
Make sure he don't get back up.
Wait, what was their reaction when you said that, actually?
Well, because I don't usually use curse words
No, but
at
you- no,
my niece.
She didn't feel
but
safe.
I needed her to
and
understand.
they weren't caring that she felt unsafe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So her eyes got big. She looked at the principal, looked back at me. Yes, ma'am. And then the principal was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait. You making my job
No, it's too
difficult.
late.
That's not
No,
what we
nothing.
want. And then I looked back at the principal and told her, if you won't keep her safe, she'll keep herself
Exactly.
safe.
And
If
what
you
she know?
keep-
Jiu-jitsu? What she know?
It's a Korean taekwondo.
Taekwondo, excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she knows how to put the paws on somebody.
Yeah.
So you just opened up a can of whoop ass.
And so, and like I told the principal, if you do your job, she won't have to do hers.
Exactly.
Within an hour, I had an email and a phone call that the situation had been handled, and that little boy hasn't touched her since.
And let's just to be clear, before we move on, she had skills to take the child out, but she
Correct.
chose not to be violent. You're the one, and I'm not,
Yeah.
and I agree with what you're saying, so I'm not throwing you on the bus, but this young lady could have taken him out with some
Yeah.
techniques, and she chose to do the right thing and tell somebody, go tell her, well, okay, it's handled, and then they're acting like, well, okay, we know it now for future. No, she doesn't feel safe now, and she actually chose to use restraint. And you're saying you're not going to protect my baby? In that case, yeah, I agree. I would have said it just like that to the principal,
on
to the child in
boundaries,
front of the
yeah.
principal.
Well,
Absolutely, because she chose restraint. And,
she did.
You know, like,
She
what's the
went
point?
to the teachers, and I've always explained to her, tell the adults they'll help you in the situation, because that's what a teacher's job is.
Right. That's your
But
job.
We
You don't
had
just
some
teach the curriculum.
clarification on that
You
moment
protect the babies.
of, if you don't feel safe, get your safety back. If you feel you're safe enough to tell an adult. If you need to defend yourself to be safe, then go get an adult, then you do that.
Exactly.
But don't feel that you can't defend yourself and I'm going to be mad at you.
And you know what? Saying that, even though I get the principle, no, we don't condone violence, but you saying that was so pivotal, and the reason why I stand by how you said it to her is because she's going to remember that in life. And what if she's by herself, or possibly,
Exactly.
I'll never wish this on her, so I'm not wishing this on her, but what if she was in an abusive relationship? It's going to take her back to that time that little kid had her in the dirt. But you know what? She going to put some paws on him, and I bet you he won't touch her again, and she feels confident to leave that relationship. So you set that confidence in her that, you know, I don't need a man. I don't have to have a man around. It's not okay for someone to touch me. So what you did, while they can stand in their policy of we don't condone violence, in that moment, she will never forget that.
And the reason why I say, or I agree with you, is because I sent an email to all of her teachers to recap the situation, to make sure that they were very aware that if my niece came home and said she got into a fight or things like that with this kid because he put his hands on her, I'm 100% behind her.
Right.
If you aren't going to make her feel safe, she'll make herself feel safe.
Right.
And she has my 100% support. So the teacher felt like, oh my God, I've messed up. You know, let me go talk to her. You know, my niece is not shy, very articulate for her age.
Yeah,
and so
she's
when
very
the
smart.
kid was, or when the teacher was talking to her, she told her, I went to you for help. You didn't help me.
That's right.
You did not make me feel safe.
And that's
she
sad
used
when
those
a
exact
9-year-old
and she used
tells
those
you that.
exact words because the teacher came to me and went, it broke my heart because here she is looking at me in my face telling me I failed her. I did not let her feel safe. And she, you know,
I'm
she
glad
was
she
trying
got
to
it.
explain. I commend her for coming to me and telling me that.
Right, because kids don't always.
And apologizing. You know, the teacher.
Excuse me, teachers don't always. I'm sorry.
The teacher came and apologized and was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You know, and she told me and she said, he touches me again, I'm going to light him up.
Right.
Go ahead, baby.
And in all fairness, I'm glad she got that because you shouldn't have to have gone that far. But I'm glad you did. And I'm glad you were bold enough to do it in front of them because she won't forget that moment.
But it was important for her to understand. Like, when adults are having conversations about adult matters, when she does mess up, I'm going to be the one on the side of the teacher, the principal, because I'm going to hold her accountable.
Right.
But when she is not messing up and they're not doing right by her, I'm on her side.
Right.
So it's a balance.
Oh, yeah.
But in this case, she was 100% right. And why she didn't need to be in the dialogue back and forth, when it came down to, final result, oh, no, you gonna get this.
Exactly.
Because I needed her to understand that in this situation, I'm 100% on you because your safety and your well-being is my number one concern.
Priority. And you know what? Another thing too about how you're saying balance, because sometimes they are telling the truth. I don't care how old they are. Kids don't always typically lie. No, I'm not saying they do. Yeah. Your little angel lies. Okay, people.
I did my homework.
Yeah.
Let me see it.
Lies. Let me see it. The dog ate it. We ain't got a dog. But anyways, it's good to have that balance because sometimes they are telling the truth.
Correct.
And we shouldn't always dismiss the child's accusation. But then also too, we can't be out here making children think that they're always right because then your little angel is the one that's kicking kids in the dirt. And that sets a bad tone too. So I'm glad you said balance. And with that, let's go into this article really fast by the Scholastic Parent Staff. And the article is called When Teasing Becomes Bullying. A couple things I want to point out or highlights for me in the article. Researchers estimate that 20 to 30% of school-age children are involved in bullying incidents as either predators or victims. That's high. I don't care if it is low out of 100%. That's still high. It should be 0. Let's make it 0, people. And then it goes on to say victims of bullying are often shy and tend to be physically weaker than their peers. And they have low self-esteem and poor social skills. Bullies consider these to be safer targets. Effects of bullying can be physical or emotional, and they'll have problems with their esteem. It causes depression, and this can linger on into adulthood and affect their personal and professional lives. When it comes to bullies, they're affected in adulthood because sometimes they're unable to form positive relationships. It's difficult for them, and they sometimes more likely to adapt tobacco and alcohol use, abuse spouses, and they correlate bullying with later criminal activity. Some warning signs: increased passivity or withdrawal, recurrent complaints of physical symptoms such as tummy aches, headaches, unexplained bruises, sudden drop in grades and learning problems, not wanting to go to school, significant changes in social life, suddenly no one is calling or they're not extending out invitations, sudden change in the way your child talks, calling themselves a loser or referring to a former friend as a jerk. How to help? First, give your child space to talk. Be empathetic. Read stories to them about teasing and bullying. Also, once you've opened the door, help them figure out how to problem solve, role play. I just kind of powered through that. And by the way, they also say one more thing. Teasing becomes bullying when it's repetitive and when they're consciously intending to hurt another child. Bullying can be psychological, bullying can be verbal, and can be physical. So we're talking about making threats, name calling, excluding kids out of things, spreading rumors, hitting, pushing, biting, things of that nature.
I think it's important to also note that bullying is just not with kids, it's in adults too. Because
but the article was saying, and that was the aha for me, we need to stop it early because the bully and it's not just the victim, the bully and the victim carry this baggage into adulthood. They think, as a bully, they think it's okay that it's normal to be mean and it's okay.
Because as a child, you learn what works. So if I cry and get my way, I'm going to cry when I want my way. If I'm a bully and I get my way, I'm going to continue to be a bully because it gets the reaction or the action that I want.
Right. And so they know no better because nobody corrected them. So we have to start young. And then with the victim, the article was saying, and I believe it's true because even how we were talking, they feel safe targets are the one that have the low self-esteem. And so if, like how you were saying, if the parents, and I'm not knocking parents, I'm just, it's a suggestion, people. If we build their self-esteem up, but we give them that balance of having confidence and feeling self-worth young, they're less likely to be targets. I'm not going to say it's going to 100% knock them out of not being bullied, but it helps.
And I think it's also important to encourage kids to speak up on behalf of others. If you see another kid being bullied, speak up. Let them know it's not okay.
For sure.
Because sometimes kids misinterpret high self-esteem and, being mean to others. No, you still need to be kind.
Right. Always be kind.
Sometimes kids learn they don't do what you say, they do what you do.
Right. Monkey see, monkey do. Absolutely.
So that's important too, to make sure that when you're your kid is being mean or being a bully or crossing that line, you yank them back. But I'm a firm believer, if you won't parent your child, I will if they do something in my presence.
Hello.
Especially when my niece is present. Because if I'm always on her about something and I see another kid do it and I don't say anything, what I'm communicating to her is it's okay for them.
And another thing, just to piggyback up what you said, let's stop the sideline because you're contributing to it. It's already bad enough, I'm saying, if you're not the one being bullied and you're seeing it.
Yeah.
It's already bad enough that this kid is being confronted by someone who might be physically bigger, or if not, making them feel psychologically bigger. They're the bully, right? So it's already bad enough they got that dynamic. Now, let alone they got 25 people watching this. World Star, and now the days of the flip phone. I mean, excuse me, a flip phone. I'm aging myself. But, cell phone where they can record it and put it on social media for you to relive that same incident over and over again. Stop it. Stop it, children, and don't teach your kids that that's okay. Exactly. If they see something, they need to stop it. Even if they don't want to get a middle, because I know I'm not going to get in the middle and get beat up with you, but I should run and go tell the teacher. That's the littlest thing, the simplest thing, but it's the most effective thing you can do. Go run, get help so that kid can be protected. And I don't condone snitching, but when they're kids, I will never tell a kid not to snitch.
No, it's
so
important.
I joke and say, we don't snitch. But really, when they're kids, I'm never going to teach a child not to because it's important. Yes. They need to tell the teacher whether it's them being a victim or if they see it, because it can stop it. They don't realize they can be saving somebody's life.
Of what
Because nowadays kids are out here
so they need
hanging themselves over this stuff.
They need to share. They need to communicate always.
Always. We don't need to condone sideline bullying. I'm going to call it sideline bullying. Just because you're not physically saying something or putting your hands on them, you're saying it's okay, and it's making that person feel even smaller. That's not okay. Yeah. Not okay at all. It's not funny, and we need to stop.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Like, my niece is not perfect. So, I've had to get on her about, that's not nice. We don't do that. This is how it affects other people. But I think all kids go through that. It's the parents' job to help them understand
parents
why it's
and
not
teachers,
okay.
Parents and teachers and staffs and aunts and uncles. Yep. Any adult that's in the village, you contribute to that child's behavior, or you can help mold good behavior in that child. Yeah, I'll say it like that. All right, so what's the moral? Let's wrap this up.
Be kind.
Always, yeah.
Don't let your insecurities onto others, because I think that's what makes bullies. They're insecure with themselves, so they're trying to put power or authority on someone else.
Right.
No.
And the moral for me is, please, really pay attention to kids. And I'm not talking just to parents. Anybody in the village, pay attention to the signs, because not all kids are going to be like your niece and tell, but also too, pay attention to the signs and lift them up, instill positive value in them. And also remember that if you're letting it go, especially if your child is the bully, not only are they bringing baggage with them into their future that we don't think about when they're kids,
and they might step to the wrong one.
They're also bringing baggage on the victim. And a simple act of just constantly stealing little Susie's lunch will have a bigger impact on Johnny and Susie in the future. And we need to realize that and stop it early, because now Johnny's going to beat on his old lady, and Susie is not going to want to deal with people, or she might have esteem issues. She should be worrying about being a CEO of a company, and she doesn't live up to her full potential because she doesn't feel and know her worth. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So please be conscious of it. I know this was kind of a serious podcast. We try to keep it a little bit funny, but I'm glad we talked about it because, like, for instance, it's happening. We don't get the bullying, but we're seeing our family members get bullied. And that's a perfect response to what happened to your niece.
It does happen in the workplace. I think New York just passed the anti-bullying law in the workplace because it's so rampant. But I think it's rampant because, like you said, if you don't address it in childhood, what do you get? Bullies as adults.
And can we say something to that really quickly before we move on? Adult bullying, workplace bullying. We all get paid to come and do a job. That's the goal. When you come to work, you do your job. If you make a friend, great. But we shouldn't be there for negativity. If you got negativity, keep it to yourself, adults. I mean, you don't need to be talking about little Susie at the water cooler. We don't need to be passive aggressive with each other at work, sending emails, using your power whatever to make someone feel smaller. No, guess what? If you're the boss, tell them nicely to do their job. I'm not saying you have to be please, but I'm just saying you can be firm, like, hey, Susie, I need you to get that report into me by 10 a.m. today. And that was respectful.
Yeah.
I mean, if Susie getting her feelings because I told her to do her job, I can pip you and we can call it a day. You weren't meant to have this job. I'm not saying please, do you think you can get it to me at 10 a.m.? No, you can be firm, but you don't need to be like, yes, Susie, so like I needed that report like yesterday. No, be polite at the workplace. I don't care if you're the CEO of the company or the janitor.
You
treat everyone with
like
respect.
You want to be treated.
Again, I think I've said this before in different podcasts. This is not something new. And I don't care if your parents didn't teach you. I know some adult along the line taught you, if you can't say nothing nice, don't say it at all. It's just a simple concept. Treat it in the workplace, at church, wherever you may go, period. And then we will eliminate bullying. That's one simple step people can do to eliminate bullying, I think. It's real simple, but people just bypass it and do what they want to do for whatever reason, and I will never understand. But yeah, workplace bullying, that's not cool. Everybody gets paid to do a job. Do your job and move on, right? Okay, so now we're moving on. All right, Ms. Glam. Let's end on a light note. Not for me and you, but at least for the audience. Petty word of the day. So petty word of the day is where me and Ms. Glam, we're trying to get our higher learning on, up in our vocabulary. And so we're going to teach you the word that we learned. But, sometimes you don't get it unless you put it in a sentence, right? Use the word in a sentence. Isn't that what they say in the spelling bees? Put the word in a sentence. Yes. But what we do is we put it in a nice, pretty, petty sentence, because that's how we do it here. We're petty, right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So, Miss Glam, you ready?
My word is kvetch.
Kvetch. That sounds Russian.
It's a verb.
Sounds Russian. Kvetch. Did you call me like a
bad
word in Russian?
No.
Oh, okay.
Kvetch.
Just checking. Kvetch. What's the origin of the word? No,
I don't know.
Just keep going.
But kvetch means to complain habitually. Mo Hazel.
Oh, here we go.
Is always kvetching.
Kvetching.
About my weekly delight choices.
You damn Skippy, because they suck. They're all right.
So kvetch can also be a noun. So I guess I am calling you a kvetch.
Ooh, I'll let you have that. I'll let you have that. My word, foofara. Foofara.
Foo-foo.
Foofara. A great deal or fuss or attention given to a minor matter. My sentence. I still don't understand the big foofara Miss Glam is making over these notebooks she bought us. I mean, they aight.
In 2 months,
fighting words.
You will be
fighting words.
I need another one for work. I need another one for my other creative projects, because these are life.
Listen, I'm a creative. It's all up in the dome. Plus, I got tech support for that. Tech support keep me good. As long as I got tech support, that's my ride or die over there. Tech support got me.
Because
he'd be borderline getting himself fired. Just to be clear, I'm looking at him dead in his eyeballs as I'm saying it. You might get fired, but I still keep you around.
She fired him every other day.
That's still my ride or die. That's my
every
homie for
other
life.
Day.
You my homie for life. He my homie for life.
But that's why we don't have sound effects, because you keep firing them.
I got it.
No.
My sound
Tech
effects
support,
are bomb.
please get us some sound effects so we don't have to suffer through that. No.
Somebody like it. Comment below. Anywho, that's our show for today. If you like it, please comment. Please let us know. Subscribe. If you got a topic that you like, let us know. We'll totally talk about it on the air. Rant, give you our 2 cents. We're here for you. We want to include you in on the conversation, so let's talk about it. If it's something you want to talk about, we're ready to talk about it. And then the website, badassbesties.com, right?
Yes.
Okay, subscribe to that. Go check us out. So come on, follow us, like us, hang out with us. Anything else you got to say today?
Until next time.
All right, and we are out.